In 1909, a letter to the editor of the Strand magazine was received complaining about the recently published Sherlock Holmes story, The Bruce Partington Plans. It was complaining that it was a complete rip-off of a story that was written in 1894 by Arthur Morrison, who's perhaps best known for his book The Child of the Jago. The Bruce Partington Plans was published in the Strand magazine in December 1908. January the 14th, 1909, to Martin Greenhall Smith, editor, The Strand magazine. I can no longer sit by idly and read the alleged factual accounts published by your periodical regarding one Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Of course, it is quite possible he has played no part in misleading the public, and that the blame lies fully at the feet, or rather, should I say, the hands of his biographer, Dr. John Watson. I am referring to your issue of last December, 1908, containing a remarkable piece of fiction entitled The Adventure of the Bruce Partington Plans. It is clear that you, sir, do not cast a critical eye on the accounts of Sherlock Holmes, and that your magazine has long rushed to print at every opportunity. According to Dr. Watson, in the very first sentence of his tale, he states that the events regarding the Bruce Partington Plans occurred in the year 1895. This is complete poppycock. Anyone who's read this story knows that it deals with the theft of a top-secret plans regarding the developmental Bruce Partington submarine. But how could this possibly be? The Admiralty has admitted that it did not encourage home development of this new class of naval vessel. The esteemed Engineer-in-Chief of the Royal Navy, Sir Dunstan, acknowledged that the first British submarines were based on the design of the American Holland submarine. The first Holland was sold to the US Navy in 1900. There were certainly no advanced British submarine plans in 1895. And the Woolwich Arsenal is an army facility. Why would the Royal Navy be developing a top-secret sea vessel there? Apparently logic and accuracy are not requirements for submissions to your magazine. So what are we to make of this story? Allow me to provide an answer. Robert Whitehead developed a self-propelled torpedo. Although he was a British subject, the Admiralty's lack of interest in the weapon resulted in Whitehead presenting it to the Austrian government. However, research and development in the field continued, with production of the first British torpedoes occurring at Woolwich Arsenal in the early 1870s. Woolwich was a key research facility for the development of explosives. Shortly afterward, the first torpedo boats were constructed. What does this have to do with Watson's fanciful tale? You may recall, sir, that in 1894, your magazine published my own account of how Martin Hewitt prevented an international incident and recovered the plans for the Dixon torpedo. Unlike the tale spun in the Bruce Partington Plans, I can assure you that the account of the Dixon torpedo is true. Even Mycroft Holmes would be forced to admit such. Sherlock Holmes is currently retired and living on the Sussex Downs, passing his days by studying bees. Dr. Watson, I understand, is also retired, obviously needing to supplement the meagre income from his writing royalties. He occasionally published some cases from Sherlock Holmes's past. In this instance, he spun a tale from the whole cloth. Having in some fashion remembered my account of the Dixon torpedo, he changed the weapon involved to a submarine and fabricated a pale copy of my own writing. The fact that he dated his tale in a year when there was no submarine development in the works, and placing it in Woolwich, valid for torpedoes, but not submarines, just shows what a work of fiction it all is. Truly, such lazy writing by Dr. Watson. There you have it. Being a former journalist myself, I would expect your magazine to have verified at least some elements of the story you published. Now, of course, one may wonder how truthful the other Holmes and Watson adventures that you published were, but I can categorically state that the Bruce Partington plans is a work of fiction, based on a large part of my own, The Case of the Dixon Torpedo. I trust that this letter proves such. Brett, aka Arthur Morrison. I hope you enjoyed this letter. If you did, and you fancy checking out the Dixon Torpedo, you can find it on free site www.gutenberg.org and search Arthur Morrison. Alternately, I'll put the link in today's show notes. Anyway, please give this episode a like, subscribe. Until next time, bye bye.